What's up, Tyler's back with the Retro Reviews here on Tyler's Retro Reviews with WWF Fully Loaded 2000. And yeah, we're going to do this right here. There's one more review left for August, and you understand what that is. But yeah, this is the last fully loaded pay-per-view actually, because the following year was replaced by Invasion, and there's that. But yeah, July 23rd at the Reunion Arena in Dallas, Texas. Yeah, this crowd on this show this pay rather was so fucking electric. I'm just being honest with you. This was billed as a triple main event, although in reality is there's one match that goes on last. That's the actual main event. So that doesn't make no freaking sense. I don't like the whole, oh, there's 3 main events, there's 4 main events. No, there's one main event, and that's the match that goes on last. So the triple main event, which is not really, it was 3 big matches going into it. Undertaker versus Kurt Angle, Triple H versus Chris Jericho, and the one which is the WWF Championship, which is The Rock and Chris Benoit for the WWF title, where we'll get to that. And also Jericho and Triple H, by the way, was a last man standing match. Yeah. Let's talk about, you know, fully loaded 2000. With a 6-person mixed tag match, Team Extreme, which is Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, and Leah defeats Tess, Albert, and Trish Stratus. And, you know, this was the beginning of the Leah Trish feud, you know, going from here all the way to 2006. And, yeah. You know, there were some fun parts about this, and yeah. And, I mean, Trish was not yet I mean, she was trying around this time, but you just understand why. And there's very sick of that. 6. Yeah, 6 out of 10. Anyways, then Taz defeats Al Snow by submission. This was before he feuded with Jerry Lawler. Yeah. I mean, we all know what happened at SummerSlam, which we obviously know about that one. But still, this felt like an ECW match, really. I mean, God, Taz went from debuting at the Royal Rumble to, I don't know what they were doing with Taz. But, I mean, he was winding down when he came in, and no wonder why by 2002 he was full-time commentator with Michael Cole on SmackDown when the brand split came in. Then again, he had that feud with Jerry Lawler, and then that fucking Invasion storyline, which, yeah, the less I said about that, the better. But still. 4 out of 10 I'll give it. And there's that. Anyways, next up is for the European Championship. Perry Saturn defeats Eddie Guerrero to win the European Championship. It was actually not bad, you know. And yeah, it was not bad. It was a 7 out of 10 match. Before I get to the next match, where Edge and Christian tried to avoid this match with the APA, and Mick Foley, by the way, the night after King of the Ring was the new commissioner, and and Mick Foley found Christian. Christian thought he was sick or something like that. But then Christian was caught by Mick Foley, and Mick Foley said, "You're totally busted in that." Mick Foley caught Christian faking the sickness or whatever it was, or food poisoning, one of the two, because they were teasing Mick Foley to get out of this match, and that didn't happen. And then we got for the tag team titles. The APA of Brooke and Bradshaw defeats Edge and Christian. Unfortunately, by disqualification to the customer saw that Edge and Christian retains the titles like that. Christian said something really about... I forgot, really. Jefferson or something like that about lasting 5 minutes in Dallas, and then Bradshaw, looks so pissed and cuts a crazy ass promo, and I don't know anything about. I don't want to talk about the politics bullshit, really. But still, a 5 out of 10. But there's that. There's also some backstage segments like Undertaker's trying to find Kurt Angle, and then Triple H instead got these flowers that they thought was Kurt Angle, but Triple H found out that Jericho attacked him, and he was the one who sent the flowers to play mind games, apparently. So there's that. And then the other one was Rock and Benoit, where Benoit destroyed Rock's clothing. So they've been building up this whole thing with the 3 big matches. I know it's called a triple threat main event, but there's one match that goes on last. And that's the real main event. But still. But yeah. And then we had a steel cage match for the Intercontinental Championship. Val Venus defeats Rikishi to retain the Intercontinental Championship. This was a fine steel cage match, but the biggest part of the match where Rikishi does the fucking splash on top of the cage. Kind of reminds me of Braun Strowman did that in the War Games match, the prior year's Survivor Series. For some reason there was a ref bump. Lee and Trish continued their stuff after this, because and then Taz attacks Rikishi with a camera. That did not lead to a match between Taz and Rikishi, unfortunately, at SummerSlam. No, that led to Taz versus Jerry Lawler. Why? Reasons. So a 7 out of 10 I'll give it. But anyways, then we get to the three big matches going into it. Undertaker defeats Kurt Angle. This wasn't their best match. I mean, they have better matches later on. But yeah. Kurt Angle ever since won King of the Ring, he spilled milk on Undertaker's motorcycle, and this pissed Taker off. Like, that's one person you don't want to piss off. And this led to their match here at Fully Loaded. This was their first of many matches. Again, it was a fine match, but it was too short, I felt. Angle was playing around with Undertaker's motorcycle, and you don't want to mess with him, and then Kurt Angle grabs a gigantic wrench to attack Taker during this event. But that didn't work out anyway, because Undertaker won regardless. A 6 out of 10 I'll give it. Angle was okay after this. He was in the main event of SummerSlam. He had the feud with Triple H, and no mercy, he wins the WWF title. So, yeah. There's that. Anyways, then we get the last minute thing match in your semi-main event. Triple H defeats Chris Jericho in the best match on this show. Um, Honestly, it was this or the Judgment Hell in a Cell match 2 years later. That's their best one. I don't know which one. I think this one's better than the Hell in a Cell match they had. Their main 18 match was fine, except for the fucking stupid storyline going into it, where Jericho was basically the third wheel in that. But this led to the whole video page of Triple H saying, "I want Jericho's ass." Literally, like, 4 times in that video package. And yeah, Triple H won. Again, this was the limit test for all 3 the younger guys, quotation mark, for Benoit, Jericho, and Angle. You know, they did all pass their test against the 3 established guys like Undertaker, Triple H, and The Rock. You know, a 9 out of 10 during this, you know. And yeah, you know, great match between these two. I don't think Triple H and Jericho ever had, like, a bad match together. I mean, their main 18 match, again, was fine, except a fucking build towards it where Jericho was basically the third wheel between Stephanie and Triple H, and we know. And then finally, the main event for the WWF Championship. Now, the build towards this, Benoit save Shane from getting being down by The Rock because Vince was on his way home again. Won't come back until like the end of 2000. And then Benoit was basically putting Rock in cross faces, and Rock basically beat the fuck out of Benoit like a week before this, where he rock bottomed on top of a limousine, which there's that. And then Mick Foley said if Rock is disqualified in this, he will lose his WWF Championship. We get that for the WWF Championship. The Rock defeats Chris Benoit to retain the WWF Championship. You know, it was a fantastic match, an 8 out of 10, you know. But I felt like Benoit should have really won the title. But on the other hand, I get why Rock retained, because he just won it the month prior at King of the Ring in that most convoluted main event ever. And on the other hand, also, we would not get the big moment at WrestleMania 20 with Benoit, which WWE does not want us to remember for obvious reasons. But we do. Shane McMahon was involved around this match a lot. He hits referee Earl Hebner with a steel chair, and then The Rock grabs a steel chair. Earl Hebner thought Rock hit him with a steel chair. Like, really? If I was a referee, my mind says, wait a minute, this guy didn't hit me with a chair. This guy did. You know? When Rock put Benoit in the crippler crossface, Benoit won by disqualification, so he's the new champion, right? Wrong. Mick Foley comes down and restarts the match. Rock bottoms him. And that's it. I mean, 8 out of 10 I'll give it. But still. You know, great show. You know. But yeah. I give it a 7 out of 10 because it did help out the 3 guys who come in. Like Kurt Angle, Chris Jericho, and Chris Benoit. So there's that. But next week we're going back 3. We're going to move 3 years later because, you know, like I said, with the brand exclusive stuff. Like I did Raw's first exclusive pay-per-view back in October, which was Bad Blood. I might give SmackDown's first pay-per-view a shot also with Vengeance 2003. So, I mean, you saw it on my community tab on this channel, really. I mean, what shows I'm going to talk about, really. I mean, you obviously know what the September reviews are. Spoilers. Fall Brawl 1993 TNA Unbreakable 2005, WCW Fall Brawl 2000, and Unforgiven 2002. So there you go. Sorry about that. So there's that. SmackDown review tomorrow, and then Saturday I might do the Scooby-Doo Courage Cowboy Dog crossover movie review. There's that. Like this video, comment below, subscribe to this channel, notification bell, as well as my main channel, so you see those for videos. And there, bye bye.